As of May 2025, the Lakers have 14 jersey numbers retired in honor of various legends who have represented the team over the years. For those numbers are double-figure rep digits. There's 22, 33, 44, and 99. 22 was retired in November 1983 in honor of Elgin Baylor, who officially represented the Lakers from between 1958 and 1972 after the team selected him with the first official pick of the 1958 draft following the Philadelphia Warriors selection of future Hall of Famer Guy Rodgers with that year's territorial pick, whereby teams took turns selecting a local player before the draft officially began. 33 was retired in March 1990 for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who represented the Lakers from between 1975 and 1989, during which he played an integral role in delivering the franchise 5 rings after the team traded for him in June 1975. 44 was also retired in November 1983 alongside Elgin's number in honor of Jerry West, who represented the team from between 1960 and 1974, leading them to a ring in 1972 after Los Angeles drafted him with the first official pick in the 1960 draft following the Cincinnati Royals selection of future Hall of Famer Oscar Robertson with their territorial pick that year. 99 was retired in October 2022 in honor of George Mikan, who represented the team from between 1946 and 1956, back when they were known as the Minneapolis Lakers before relocating to Los Angeles for the 60-61 season. During his time with the team, Mikan led them to 5 rings between 1949 and 1954. There's also another double-figure rep digit that's highly unlikely to be retired anytime soon, but nevertheless holds an unusual but noteworthy place in Lakers history. Despite being selected with the 47th pick of the 1979 draft by the Bulls, it would be a year later that Kelvin Garrett would finally join the NBA after his draft rights were traded to the Rockets in July 1980. In Houston, he'd have his best years, though ultimately his NBA career would be short-lived, ending with the conclusion of the 83-84 season. In terms of stats, whenever he was given decent minutes, Garrett put up respectable numbers, but he was never more than a role player. Nevertheless, Garrett does have a place in NBA history as he was the first ever player to wear the jersey number 00 for the Lakers. All up, he played 41 official games for Los Angeles after the Rockets waived him in November 1982 and the Lakers picked him up in August 1983. To date, the last person to officially wear the jersey number 00 for the Lakers was Benoit Benjamin after he was traded from the Seattle Supersonics to the Lakers in February 1993. Like Garrett, his time in Los Angeles was brief as he played just 28 games for the team before being shipped to the New Jersey Nets in June 1993. In between Garrett and Benjamin wearing 00, 3 other players briefly wore the number. But unlike the 2 players, it wasn't by choice. Rather, it was due to necessity. Also, unlike Garrett and Benjamin, the 3 players in question weren't simply role players. In fact, they were key members of the Showtime Lakers who dominated the 80s with a flashy, fast-paced style of play, which ultimately led to rings in 1980, 1982, 1985, 1987, and 1988. Mychal Thompson was the first key member of the Showtime Lakers to wear 00 on the 15th of February 1987 during a game between the Lakers and their arch-rivals, the Celtics. Prior to the game, Thompson had only ever worn the jersey number 43 since joining the league back in 1978 when he was selected with the first pick of that year's draft by the Blazers, with the number serving as a reference to his college years at the University of Minnesota where he represented the Golden Gophers between 1974 and 1978. Following the game, Thompson again wore 43 for the rest of his time with the Lakers up until the end of his NBA career when he was waived by the team in October 1991. The reason why Thompson wore 00 back in 1987 was because he had just been traded to Los Angeles from San Antonio days earlier on the 13th. Initially, the Lakers hadn't planned for Thompson to play, assuming that he wouldn't be able to familiarize himself with the Lakers system in time for the game. However, Thompson was able to adapt to their style of play pretty much immediately, leading the Lakers to make him a last-minute inclusion for the contest.
Here was the scene at 8:30 this morning as Bill Burka went over those minimum of plays with the new man, Mychal Thompson.
And Bill Burka told me up in the press room that they only figured to give him 1 or 2 plays, but all of a sudden he responded so nicely and understood what Burka was trying to do that he gave him all the play patterns, and he said, "You're ready to play, and we'll go to you."
It was because Thompson's addition to the roster was so sudden and unexpected that the team didn't have a jersey ready for him. So, instead, they gave him a spare one with the number 00 and no name on the back. Ultimately, Thompson played 29 minutes, putting up 10 points and grabbing 4 rebounds in what ended with a victory for the Lakers 106-103. Months later, early into the 87-88 season, on the 11th of December 1987, the Lakers traveled to Boston to again face off against the Celtics. At some point during the trip, James Worthy's jersey got lost. Ever since the Lakers selected him with the first pick of the 1982 draft, Worthy had only ever worn the jersey number 42 for the team, as his college number 52, which he had worn for North Carolina representing the Tar Heels from between 1979 to 1982, already belonged to Jamal Wilkes at the time that Worthy joined the league. And ultimately, the Lakers would retire the number 52 in Wilkes' honor in December 2012 out of respect for his time with the team from between July 1977, when he signed with the team as a free agent, and August 1985, when the team waived him. With Worthy's jersey missing for the game against the Celtics, the team again found another 00 jersey, this time a purple road one for him to wear. Officially, the story behind just how Worthy's jersey went missing was due to a routine cleaning.
They've also lost Worthy's jersey at the dry cleaners. That's why he has the 00.
In the end, the game went into overtime before the Lakers finally got the victory 115-114 after the team's franchise player Hanzmann-Johnson hit one of the greatest clutch bank shots you'll ever see.
As the Lakers hand them their first back-to-back losses at the Garden since 1985.
Ultimately, because Worthy was dealing with injury at the time, he was limited to playing just 14 minutes, during which he put up a respectable performance, given his ailments, scoring 8 points and grabbing 3 rebounds.
Boston now 7 out of 11 from the floor. LA 7 out of 10 makes them 8 out of 11. Worthy.
Following the game, Worthy would only ever wear the jersey number 42 for the rest of his NBA career up until his retirement in November 1994.
Probably the happiest day of my life, but at the same time, it's probably a sad occasion because I'm leaving something that's been my life.
Just over a year after retiring from the NBA, the Lakers retired Worthy's number for the team in December 1995. Almost exactly a year after Worthy wore the jersey number 00 early in the 88-89 season, on the 23rd of November 1988, Byron Scott would become the third and final key member of the Showtime Lakers to wear 00 during an away game against the Heat. The game was the Lakers' first ever contest against Miami, as the Heat had only just joined the NBA as an expansion team alongside the original Charlotte Hornets. Ultimately, the Lakers won the contest by 47 points, 138-91, which, to date, is the team's largest margin of victory against Miami. And Byron was a big reason for establishing that historic achievement. All up, he played 31 minutes, scoring 21 points, grabbing 5 rebounds, dishing out 4 assists, and securing 4 steals. There's little information surrounding the story behind Byron's 00 jersey, but given that he'd been with the Lakers since 1983 after he was selected with the 4th pick of that year's draft by the San Diego Clippers before being traded to the Lakers in October that year, and he'd only ever worn the number 4 for the team, it's fair to assume that the reason Byron was forced to wear the 00 jersey was due to it being either stolen or simply lost during their travels from Los Angeles to Miami. Following the game, Byron would only ever wear the jersey number 4 for the rest of his NBA career, both with the Lakers up until they released him in July 1993, and while representing other franchises, the Pacers from December 1993 to June 1995, when he was left unprotected for the 1995 expansion draft and was subsequently selected with the 18th pick by the Vancouver Grizzlies before being waived by the team in September 1996, after which he returned to the Lakers and again wore number 4 for the franchise. Ultimately, the only other time Byron wore a different number was during his time outside the NBA with the Greek team Panathinaikos BC. Byron signed with the team in July 1997 and wore the number 11, which was a reference to his college years at Arizona State, representing the Sun Devils from between 1979 and 1983. Presumably, the jersey Byron wore back in 1988 against the Heat was the same one that Worthy did a year earlier. However, it might have been a completely different one, meaning that there's at least 2, though maybe 3, different game-used 00 jerseys out there: the gold home jersey that Thompson wore, and the purple road jersey or jerseys Worthy and possibly Byron wore. Realistically, it seems inevitable that someday some future Hall of Famer will choose to wear 00 while representing the Lakers and make it their own, leading the team to retire the number in their honor. But, at least for now, while the Showtime 00 jerseys themselves have no real inherent value, given that the best player to wear one, Worthy, only had a mediocre performance because he was coming back from injury, the jerseys still hold a strange but noteworthy place in Lakers history, making them a novel memento commemorating one of the greatest eras in the franchise's storied history.
Day has come into the ball game, giving Larry Bird a rest, and Mychal Thompson gets his first points in a Laker uniform.
So much for 00. You're ready to play, and we'll go to you.